Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Tonight we're checking out a 2021 Lexus IS 350 F Sport at night. So this video focuses on the interior and exterior lighting of the vehicle. Check my channel for the full overview. So first I want to point out that you can turn off all the exterior lights by choosing the DRL off position on the headlight switch. When I turn on the parking lights, these extremely bright LED daytime running lights turn on, and they're kind of blowing out the camera, but there they are right there. Nice sharp line, really impressive and bright. Now you could possibly mistake these as your headlights. You want to be careful, make sure you have your headlight switch in the automatic position. Here there's a side marker in amber. There's a red side marker here in the back, and LED taillights as well. Really nice. Nice long strip of LED back here. The turn signal is amber, and it's a LED light right above the daytime running light here in the front. So you can see it's real close to the daytime running light, but it's not part of it. It's right above it, and it's very bright, and it does a good job of overpowering and being visible, even though there's right next to that other bright light. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but the left daytime running light is brighter than the right side, because when you turn the turn signal on, it dims that light a little bit, just so the turn signal could be more prominent. There's a turn signal indicator here on the side mirror. It's amber in color. It's visible from the front, the side, and the back. And the turn signal here in the back is a standard bulb, amber in color, in contrast with the red tail lights. And it's just a standard bulb in there. Now the low beams are on, and when I turn the low beams on, the daytime running lights do dim a little bit, but they're still highly visible. And the headlights in this vehicle are a multi-projector system. So in this case, it's three projectors there. And see if I can get it from the side there. And so they're focused beams for your low and your high beams, and they're quite sharp. And having three projectors gives you the ability to control the spread of the light a little bit better than just one. Now these are smaller, but they are pretty bright. I'm going to show you what it looks like on the road as well, but there's the first person view of the low beams, and then there's the high beams. So just looking at the front of the car, you can't really tell that the high beams are on because there's not a separate light. There's not another light that turns on. It just refocuses these three LED projectors. So the high beams are on now, but just by looking at it like this, it looks the same. It's the pattern out here that's different. Now the trunk light, cargo light, is right under here, and it's just a regular halogen, fairly dim, not very impressive light, but it does give you some illumination in here. But it's easy to cast shadows because it's just a single light, and it's not super bright. And especially when we have black carpet in here, it just doesn't really help out that much. But it is better than nothing. It's inadequate in my opinion. The inside of the back door has no lights except for this one little indicator light for the power window, but this is dark, which is a pocket there, and there's just no other lights here in the door. The floorboard doesn't have any specific lights. The only lights we have in the back, really, or actually the only light, is this dome light. That's all we have. That LED dome light. Now it does a decent job because it is quite bright, and even with the black interior, it does give us quite a bit of illumination back here. But there's no lights there in the center part or anything like that. There's no additional lights here in the back. The inside of the front door does have a puddle light, so it illuminates the ground, which is nice. And also there is a little bit of a light here around the handle to release the door, and then there is some buttons here for your power windows and stuff and your controls. There is no light down here though, in this area or in this area. So it does have a light, fairly dim halogen light here in the floorboard, only when you turn on the interior lights. Otherwise it's not on. And just like the back, the only light we have is the dome light. But it is a decent amount of light from those two dome lights. Okay, so now I have the door open with the interior lights on, so you can see what's going on. It has floorboard illumination. Looks like standard halogen bulbs there. Incandescent. You can see the little light there on the handle there on the passenger side. And the general illumination in here when the interior light's on is pretty good. You can see this single light up here. It is a nice bright LED, but you also have the light in the back, of course. Let's go ahead and shut the door. You see what we're left with here. So backlit buttons pretty much everywhere. Here to the left of the steering column. There's no more light in the floorboard. That's dark now. So that's dark. There's the steering wheel. The gauges. It's basically a digital screen. And you can adjust the brightness. So we'd lower the brightness like so. And the brightness also controls some of the other buttons here. So as I go up and down, you can see a little bit of difference, but mostly here on the gauge. The gauges are on the camera, they may look a lot brighter. But right there is what they actually look like to my eyes, but the camera is making everything a little bit brighter. Just keep that in mind. Same thing with the screen here. It's a little bit brighter than what it looks like in real life. Just so you can see what's going on in here. Sometimes dark videos are hard to really pull off successfully. So we start getting into these dark areas, and but before we get into the super dark areas, we'll go ahead and look at the glove compartment. It does have a halfway decent light. But the center, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the interior lights on because the center portion, cup holders are dark. So without any light, you're not gonna see anything. So you can see it's just a blank spot, just a dark spot. Same thing with this compartment here. There is some backlit places, like little places to show you where the USB ports are. But other than that, you see it's really dark in there. So there's no light in the center console at all. So up here we have some backlit buttons. The visors have a pretty bright light. When you open up the mirror there, you can see it turns on. There's a first-person view of the headlights. There's low beams, then there's high beams. And the automatic high beams, they work fairly well, but not perfect. Like most vehicles do not have perfect automatic high beams. You will need to be prepared to dim your lights in case you're flashing or blinding somebody. But they do, they're not bad. I mean, they're usable. They're usable.